I believe that veterans are the key to unlocking America's next golden age. By empowering and influencing 1 million veterans to transition well and become leaders in their communities, we can unlock our country's destiny and continue to change the world. My name is Bernard Bergen.
I am talking with Anthony Esposo, the Kataru Prince. Please follow him on Instagram, Kataru Prince, or his YouTube channel, Kataru Prince. Now, Anthony, you have served our country. Then you did something that I found fascinating. You started to truly tap into your unique abilities to capture a perspective that people need to hear as you travel. What drew you to that space, and what started you down that journey to just sharing your experiences as you travel the world?
Well, I started off when I was about to join Air Force BMT, there was hardly any videos about, how processes there. There wasn't that much military YouTubers. Then when I was into my first year of in the military, I started seeing all these other YouTubers, and then they started getting bigger about military vlogging pretty much. I started seeing in the comment sections, they weren't touching off on commenting back to their people. They weren't replying back to the people, like their subscribers. So I was going, maybe I should start that. I wanted to start small and just see where I went, because my biggest goal was to help those people who weren't getting those questions answered. So that's why I did. I started engaging the subscribers and making sure that I took a day or two within the week, even, how much work I did in the military, take time to answer back to those people and just get their questions answered.
Yeah, nice. So basically more of a passion project, just truly being helpful and sharing what you got to see, learn, and know with those who needed to know.
Absolutely. It was more like a hobby, and then a way for me to give back another way, and to help promote the Air Force in a positive way, in my view.
Wow. Did it ever get more, traction from your peers, from maybe your chain of command? Did they see the value that you were adding and support it in any way? Or was it just something you did on the side and they were like, well, it's not harmful, so continue?
So I definitely started, I was very careful. I did some research, definitely looked at the social media aspect in the regulations about sharing your views and stuff like that, and how to introduce it, to make sure that it was your opinion and what you were saying wasn't the Air Force's opinion, especially being on active duty. And then I definitely, word got out, definitely my leadership started hearing about it. And then their biggest concern was they wanted me to just check out, make sure that they were checking to see that was what I was talking about was on a good basis and good light of the Air Force and all that. But, my direct leadership, they were very supportive of it. They understood. And the biggest thing was, when I was doing these videos, is that I was just making sure that I was completing the Air Force mission, but that the videos I was producing put the Air Force in a good position, point of view. And the most important thing was everything I was stating was all my opinion and my perspective.
Yeah, I like that. And thank you for being a pioneer and being bold enough to do that. I know for many who are still on active duty, that's such a tough place to be in, because a part of, signing up to serve is truly following those regulations and those rules. And one of the things that it doesn't fully allow is, a deepening of your opinion across every spectrum. So, as I just went through your YouTube channel, I was just fascinated by this journey that you went on, because I know for the most part, it wasn't as community based, where, you have, your buddies fully engaged with you as well. So, I'm just so interested in that journey. Now, when you made the decision to transition from the Air Force, was that an easy decision, or was it something that was very difficult for you to come to?
I think it was a good mixed feeling. Sadly, it's I wasn't given the choice, but the biggest thing is I learned from it is going from something that you're so established for over the years, everything is set out in a schedule device and all that. You know what you're expected to do. You know where to be at that time. You know how to do this. And there was so much to the Air Force that was that was always planned out, that you never had to worry about what you're going to do next and all that. Then that big feeling of the unknown is pretty much what got to me and made me a little nervous and a lot of just second guessing a little bit, because it's going, what am I going to do now? I've had this life for the last over 5 years, and I'm going to go into something new and that I'm not established. And just that unknown journey, just going, what am I going to do next, is pretty much what got to me.
Yeah. One of the things I love about YouTube and connecting with YouTubers and truly getting to learn about someone's perspective from, multiple years as it changes over time, is that you start to see the commonalities. I live in Seattle. So when I saw your video in Seattle's sugar tax, I was like, man, he must live right up the street from me, because that's something that definitely affected us, seeing the sugar tax. And I love your breakdown and explanation of it. What types of content do you typically look at? Just things that kind of shake you, rub you the wrong way, or just things that you find interesting? How do you go about choosing what you're going to vlog about?
When I started off, it was definitely those videos about the Air Force, helping those who are trying to join and those are currently active. When I was going through the process of separating and seeing what the difficulty was to go through the process, and like so much questions that arise, and I looked at it up on YouTube. I go, wow, there's not a lot of videos. Google did a little bit of it, but I think videos are a little more descriptive compared to just reading on instructions and stuff, in my opinion. So I definitely started doing that. So maybe I can use myself as a sample and just show them what is the process from going from military to civilian, like those things that people maybe don't answer always. And then those other videos that are just maybe once in a while random, is definitely just things that I feel passionate about. I'm not that black and white person who just sees the world in that view. I'm definitely someone who can see different perspectives and understand the other side. I'm not that one person, like my way or the highway, pretty much. So I like making those videos that I can start a discussion that's very intelligent and people can respect each other's opinions, but have a good debate about it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I love that. And I think it's one of the strengths of, just getting to know your work from your channel. Again, I'm talking with Anthony Esposo. Please follow him on Instagram at the Kataru Prince, and the same channel name for his YouTube channel. Not only does his content kind of showcase the world, but it showcases military service and also choosing to serve beyond the uniform at some point. And I think, you showcase that very, very intimately. Here's a question I love to ask veterans. One word answer. When I say veterans transition, what would you say?
I would say flexibility. You have to definitely be able to be flexible in everything you're doing, because because each person's path is different, and you might have one mindset to go one way, but your mind might change. So you have to be flexible, and whatever challenges that come your way, you have to be able to just adapt to it and all that.
Yeah. I like that. I love the instincts that, push us to understand that we're no longer following orders. And that where many people are like, man, I like life like that. Yeah, but did you ever experience what true order looks like? Because following orders is not a horrible thing when it works for you. So I love that you talked about flexibility, because things are a lot more flexible. Things are a lot more, at times, random. And without knowing it, it could trigger some anxiety for someone who understood the system that they belong to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, one of the videos that I enjoyed, only because you were brave enough to have the conversation, was, does racism exist in the military? And I'd just love for you to take some time to just share some of what you shared.
Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to watch that video. And again, I just want to emphasize that, those were my point of views. I wasn't in any way representing the Air Force, but it was just pretty much, when I look in the military, people get, especially in the civilian world, when I mean civilian world, like the regular, like everyday people and stuff like that, who are not, have connections to the military anyway, is like they get that perspective of the military being in a certain, I would say, standing, like, they view the military as virtue, honesty, integrity, and stuff like that, in my opinion, in my view. And I think the biggest thing is, starting to show that the military has just the same problems in society that the, normal civilian world has as well. So, to be able to share this and just point out that sadly, even though we're serving with each other, we're like brothers and sisters in arms and all that, that there's those same problems. And, the military is not immune to the society problems and everything. It's just when these problems are introduced to the military, they're magnified tenfold because, we look at the military as those defenders, holding, protecting our rights and freedoms pretty much.
Yeah. Well, you nailed something that I say very publicly. I'll share that whatever is going on in the macro, the country is, as you mentioned, magnified as you shrink it. So if there's racism in our country and you shrink to our service member population, it's magnified. And I was in a special ops unit, Anthony. So when you shrink it to that level, it's magnified even more. I remember being out on patrol and this was, a mission-based time. So it was a very hard conversation to have. And a gentleman who's from another community, he said to me, Bernard, I used to think all Black people were stupid. And, again, big room for pause, because while I was thankful for his honesty, it was a hard truth to hear, And I think without the dialogue, though, you are responded to or treated a certain way and then you don't understand why. And I think by having these conversations, like you said, being open enough to have a debate, seeing a different point of view, you then get to a crossroads where you're like, wow, maybe I need to change, or wow, maybe I need to stop associating myself with X, Y, Z. And I think it's just important to just conversate and truly bring light to a lot of what goes unsaid.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Nice. Now, you are definitely a world traveler. What would you say some of your favorite destinations have been and why?
Some favorite destinations. I was stationed in Germany, so pretty much it was that all my traveling was there in Europe. I believe some of them, my favorite ones are Croatia. I call it like the hidden gem of Europe. It's not a big tourist known country yet, but it's such a beautiful place. So it still hasn't been touched by that, overwhelming tourist hands, in my opinion, and all that. And definitely, I would say another one would be Ireland, especially Dublin. Just going to the cliffs and everything, getting away from the main city, taking the time to go out. The nature was beautiful there. So, and then that, it's real hard just to pick about Europe because each of it has such a different aspect, a different culture, and just being able to immerse myself in those different countries has just really raised my awareness around the world and stuff about that.
Yeah. So let me ask this. Would living overseas be something that you're attracted to more now because of your travel experience and just experiencing the rich cultures that you have?
Absolutely. When I was growing up, before I joined the military, I lived a very sheltered life. My parents took care of everything for me. Just joining the military and being able to live overseas, it just helped me become a more independent person. And like I said, and highly emphasize, is able to immerse myself in a different culture, see different people, different perspectives, see how they view us as well as Americans, and just being able to see how countries, conduct itself in a different way. And just see the beauty, the greatness about each different culture I was able to pass by and stuff, and people.
Okay. And what was the draw to the military then?
Just joining the military, I finished, it's a lot. Like I actually made a video about it. It's my Air Force story. But pretty much is when I was growing up, I always looked at myself and felt lucky to be able to become a U.S. citizen. My parents hit some rough times, so we got help from the government and all that. And then same, I always looked at when I wanted to go to school for college, I wanted to, the government helped me. So I looked at it, and I was in that crossroad. I just finished my associate degree. I didn't know if I wanted to do any more school. So I was just looking at that point, like this, the government of the United States has given me so much. So how can I give back? I didn't want to just, volunteer in the community. I didn't want just to, go, do charity stuff like that, that I wanted to make a big impact. And what we say in the United States military, sometimes you write a blank check and sometimes you have to cash that, sadly. And I saw that was the best way I could get back to the country that has given me so much, my point of view.
I love that. I love that. Now, are you from the greater Seattle area then, or did you just settle here just because of your travels?
Oh no, I'm a Washingtonian. Lived here before I joined the military, 21 years, around the Everett-Linwood area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. So then do you get to ever attend some of, the Comic-Cons or, the PAX when you have a chance?
Not before I joined the military. Like I said, joining it has opened a lot of my mind to go travel and just to network more people. So definitely getting out now, doing some school events right now, but definitely going to hit up all those things you pretty much said now.
Yeah, nice. So when you talk to young people or you talk to people looking to serve as well, what are some of the conversations do you have? Do you ask questions, or do you just kind of green light their path and say, "Hey, go try it"? What do you usually share?
I definitely listen to what they say. That's for my point, and just to understand what they're trying to get. And each person is going to come with a different reason. And then after that, I tell my experiences, the good and the bad, the positive, negatives, and just truthfully, I share things that people might not hear, that your recruiter might not say when you go visit, because the recruiter is there to sell and market the military of what branch you're enjoying. They're trying to get you in because you're, that's their goal. My point is, like, I tell them some stuff that I've experienced that they might not hear as much from other resources that they research through. And that's my biggest point of view, and what I hold to is to try to share something, the underlying things that many people don't hear about.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to pivot just a second. You have this great quote on your Instagram that says, "God has a plan for everyone and everything. You just have to be patient and wait for things to fall in place." Do you feel that's been your life's journey?
Yes, but I wouldn't say I realized it right away. When I was hitting some rough patches through the military, I definitely had that, when I thought I wouldn't make rank the first time and stuff like that, promotion wise, it definitely hit me. And then when I did make it, I was going, this is the plan God has for me. Whatever happens in life, you do have a little control over it. But my point of view is, like, a lot of it comes down to what God has in plan for you. So that's why I said I started accepting it, like, just enjoy what you're having in life, do the best you can, what's under your control, and the rest you just leave it to and let it just go with it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that, you just took the time to share as well that at times you might not fully understand what that patience is going to reveal, what that process is going to showcase as your new options. But I think at times we're blessed in ways where we thought it was a dead end or a closed door. And I think, just our listeners hearing that from you, just hearing a different perspective, it will help them to find that maybe they have to pivot. Maybe they do have to transition from military service a lot sooner than they thought they needed to. But ultimately, it's going to work out as they reposition themselves for what's next.
Couldn't agree more.
Now, I want you to just take some time to share with those interested in YouTube or, whatever other video vlogging platform they choose, what it's like to start that journey and be consistent in creating and releasing content that attracts people to share their opinions and keeps that channel going. Because I think so many people think it's a lot harder than it is, but I think also so many people think it's a lot easier than it is.
I think you hit on a good couple points. The first thing when you're starting with YouTube is, and I'm still trying to come to grips with it, even though I've been doing it for a little over 2 years now, is just coming to grips that the numbers shouldn't affect what you want to do. If you have a reason why you're doing the videos, keep that as your main reason why you're doing them, and like your passion to continue make them. Because if you start looking at the numbers and they're not as growing, and like the view counts or minute counts and all that, then it's going to start affecting like your mindset of how you present these videos and stuff, because you're so worried about getting numbers. Like, are you going to start sacrificing the content, what you're going to do? Like, are you just going to try to get viewership numbers and stuff like that? Is definitely one of the biggest things. And what you hit on about consistency. Yeah. And what I've heard someone say, simply put, is treat YouTube as a second job. If you treat it like, if you treat it as almost like a second job, you can put more time into it, more passion, and you're going to set yourself up with a schedule, and you're going to hold yourself to that. If you treat it like something that's very important to you, that it's going to reflect in your work and all that.
Nice. Again, I am talking with Anthony Esposo. Follow him on Instagram, the Kataro Prince, and please subscribe to his YouTube channel. What would you say are some of your big goals personally, and then for growing your online presence to include your YouTube channel for this year?
Definitely for my goals is continue to network. I would love to meet more YouTubers in the Seattle area, Washington overall, do collaborations and all of that. Just grow that network and that YouTube connections. Definitely get maybe invited to these video cons and stuff about, where other YouTubers come and stuff like that. Definitely with my channel is my goals with my channel is to consistently stay, like you said, schedule 2 videos a week, something like that is my goals. And just to continue, like right now, I'm still in the flux, talking about, joining the military is my main focus in the videos, but then the active duty portion and separation, I definitely want to start making maybe short films or something like that in my channels. It's something I've always one of my goal for my videos for my YouTube channel is definitely see something like that.
Wow. And then let me ask this. Do you then love film or love the medium? And that's what attracted you to it? Or more was it you just saw the gap, what was missing, and you knew that your perspective could help fill that space?
Definitely the first portion was the gap. Definitely seeing those people getting their questions not answered. I was like, let me just, reach out and see. I know it's a very far-fetched idea a little bit, because when you get bigger with YouTube and all that, you just don't have the time to constantly reply to all the people. And I understand that. So it's no knock against the big military YouTubers. I understand that. And the second portion is definitely, I would say, is a mix of the film portion. It's that interesting aspect of being just creative and trying to share idea through there, sir.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful. Now, if anyone scrolls through your Instagram, and one of the things I like doing is I like going back to the first ever post that's still up there and then coming current. You are definitely a foodie. Are you also a cook as well, or just more of a foodie?
I would lean more to a foodie.
Got it. Any favorites? Any favorite countries to eat in? Any favorite dishes that you fully enjoy no matter where you're traveling to?
I do definitely enjoy, Asian food overall, definitely Filipino, Korean, Vietnamese. But I think just being open to trying new foods, like I've always come under that mindset of I definitely want to try something before I actually write it off. That's my biggest perspective. Just try it before at least one time.
Wow. Where would you say has been the most exotic place you've visited, and what was the most exotic foods that you've sampled?
Oh, that's a hard one because you have such a Western culture style.
Yeah.
Most exotic place I would definitely say would be like Croatia and out there, because it was still, like I said, very untouched by tourism. So I was able to visit their waterfalls and all that, to see their nature and stuff like that, their islands. But I think the most out there would be maybe snails in Paris.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. I don't think I've tried snails.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, wow,
Not
wow.
bad at all. I would recommend it at least one time.
Okay, okay, man. I'm visualizing it. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I'm brave, but I don't know if I'm that brave.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. What two-part question. Do you still keep in contact with many of your, airmen buddies, or was it more of a clean break as you just reposition for what's next?
I think that's one of the biggest thing I miss about the military is that connection with how close I was with them. I definitely keep in touch with friends, or like you said, airman buddies, and I definitely still keep in touch with mentors and stuff.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Any tips for continuing mentorship relationships or contacts, even though, it's like, I think it's one of the hardest things to explain how different it is when you are outside of the uniform,
Mm-hmm.
how divergent your life's path is with people you used to see every day,
Mm-hmm.
and be around 10 or more hours every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Any tips for people going through that, or transitioning, or finding themselves, just dealing with that sense of loss as they continue life beyond the uniform?
I just think you have to remember that, you understand the schedule they've been on to. You have to understand that they're all across the world. They might be on deployments or something like that. You just have to understand that their schedule is not going to match up with yours always. So, you just have to continue making that good connection with them. Be patient is definitely a big one too. And just be genuine like that. Make that connection, when it's their birthday, say hello, greet them, maybe take the time to call. When you actually say hello and ask how they're doing, mean it by just, either, asking what they were up to, like how's, life been, like that stuff, before, you ask, like, questions like you need help or guidance. And I think that's the biggest one is being genuine and understanding that, like their schedule is going to be completely different from yours now.
Right, right, right. All right. As we prepare to wrap up, I wanted to just ask you to share, just some of your thoughts. Like what I like about your military focused YouTube channel was that you did dive deep in answering questions and sharing opinions. And one of the things I think was refreshing was your perspective on, Veterans Day and some of the Veterans Day benefits, like free meals and things of that nature. Do you think we need more of that, more of celebrating the sacrifice that the men and women who served made? Or do you think that as things continue to change and shift, we're getting to a place where it's not so much needed?
That's a good one. What you just said is, it's a hard one for me to say because in my point, when I joined the military, it was definitely not about the benefits. I understood we got benefits for school, healthcare and all that. And then, the extra benefits and stuff. And I think I will never knock anyone who like veteran wise who tries to go for it because like, what people try reemphasize is you did something that only 1% of the US population will do. And you're not asking for these benefits. These companies or organizations or people are giving out these, freebies, I would say at times is they're giving it, and you're not asking for it. You take, you accept them and you're happy about them. Absolutely. But in the end of the day, it's not something that you're looking for. That's not the reason why you join. And I think that's a majority of military members, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how clear you made that, because you're absolutely right. We can't sign up knowing that we will leave the military in good health, mental and physical,
Mm-hmm.
and able to take advantage of what's offered, because we all have served with people who have left to a deeper struggle, or like you said, they pay that ultimate price. But I think, it's this happy medium of honoring, and also not for the veteran population, not being annoying with our acceptance of that honor, because it could be at times a little bit skewed towards arrogance versus just the true humility of having, like you said, having been a part of that 1% who was able and privileged to serve.
Agreed.
Okay, now I want you to take some time to tell everyone how to find you online and how to subscribe to your YouTube channel and follow you on Instagram. And then please close us out with some travel tips for Europe.
All right. So the way to simply put, Bernard has emphasized it, Kotaro Prince, Kotaro, and then the word Prince. And then that's for both my YouTube channel and Instagram. Also has Snapchat if you want it as well. And then some travel tips about Europe is number one is just travel light. You don't need to over travel. You don't need to pack 100 bags. Just travel light. And then number two is get off the unbeaten path. Don't follow the main tourist attractions. Definitely when you go eat out, get off that main tourist attractions and stuff. And number three is visit those big sites. Absolutely. Like, for example, Paris and stuff, go to those big, like the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that, or London, Big Ben and stuff. But definitely also go visit the outside, like go away from the city because they have just great monuments as well and stuff. And number four is don't be afraid to travel alone. I think people get to that perspective that, they have to wait for someone to travel, and then that's what's going to happen. You're just going to keep waiting for someone to travel. Traveling alone by yourself is actually one of the biggest experiences I think you can do because you grow as a person. You don't rely on anyone, and biggest benefit is you're on your own schedule.
Oh wow, yeah. Man, Anthony, this was an amazing interview. Thank you, just for taking the time to share your perspective and your point of view with listeners. If there's anything else you'd love to share, here's the time.
Definitely thank you for letting me be on your podcast. Definitely enjoyed it. I'm glad that you're doing these kind of videos. I looked at your own Instagram and your own website and stuff, and just continue to do what you're doing. It's such amazing thing, sir. And I hope, you welcome me back again next time. Maybe I can add a different perspective, but I enjoyed this.
All right. Thanks, Anthony, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
You as well.
Thank you.